Hey guys, my name's Gray and I'm a really bad rock singer. Now it doesn't sound like much, but I used to be an absolutely god-awful, terrible one. So, I'm pretty happy with that progress. Today, we are reacting to Diana Ankudinova. I think I'm getting there with the pronunciation. And we're checking out, oh god, another one I'm gonna bugger up. Rechenka. Please correct me, alright? Just let me know in the comments how bad I'm butchering this. This has come pretty highly recommended. I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna get on. Let's do this.
Моя Rechenka, ты течешь, да не колыбнешься. Ой, да ты дитя, да мое дитятко, да ты чего сидишь, да не улыбнешься.
Cool. Let's start with the obvious. I believe she's 14 at the time of this recording, which is just mind-blowing. It's staggeringly good. I started gigging when I was about 14, like actual outside the house performing. And I couldn't imagine being on a stage, a world stage, on TV, live, at that level, performing with that level of skill, and that she's already a finished product as an artist. Some real mastery of a lot of basic skills like pitch, intonation, dynamics, breath control, and deliberate control over the dark and light tones. This is a point in particular I want to press upon. A lot of people have said that, she's suffered this thing as a kid, so that's why she sounds the way she does, or that, she's had this kind of, thing happen to her. And that, to me, I'm not hearing vocal damage of any kind that would account for an unusually dark tone. It quite clearly sounds controlled, whether that's subconscious or conscious by her. She dips in and out of those tones as she sees fit with what she's doing. She can do the heavier, darker sounds, and she just as easily dips into the lighter, more typical female pop vocal type sound as well, which is beautiful. And again, at 14, to have that range of control, freaky good, and it works beautifully with the performing she does. I really can't imagine what it'd be like to perform on a world stage at 14. Again, I started gigging at 14, and my first gig that I did was in a crappy pub. And my first experience with it was, I opened the door to the pub, was carting gear in or something, and this big bold man walked out, and he pissed out of his skull, and he just fell on his face, which I'm sure I didn't perform my best because I was just out of it, tripping out at the surroundings and what was going on, because at 14, everything's still new, especially as a performer. I can't imagine what it must be like to be that fucking good on that big a stage, and to perform as confidently as she has already in this first minute of the tune. It's phenomenal. I'm also hearing some low-scale yodeling already, like tiny little bits where, how do I put this? You can already hear there's a phenomenal balance between her two main registers, your lower voice, chest voice, M1, full voice, speaking voice. Seriously, there's a billion terms. Argue amongst yourselves about them. And her upper register, head voice, falsetto, M2, the list goes on and on. But the point is, there's a beautiful balance. She is well lined up in terms of her vocal production, her phonation, the way she gets the vocal folds to vibrate is with relatively minimal effort in both ranges. And I'm sure there's a technical term for this that I've forgotten at the moment, but you hear the upper register kick in ever so slightly, tiny little pops and squeaks where the upper register can resonate and vibrate at such a low breath pressure and intensity that it allows her to make those kinds of sounds. I'll highlight what I'm on about. Easily breathed into notes. They just flow out of her, those higher bits, before she starts the main bulk of the phrase she's singing. And yeah, it really highlights vocal efficiency and control of the airflow, good compression, reasonable amounts of twang, and yeah, all of that cool technical stuff. There's another singer I can compare it to a degree that immediately reminds me of, and it's a very different type of style. It's Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, who is another singer that's thought of having a really big, powerful, in a different way, a big, meaty, powerful sound of the voice. And really what's going on is just machine-like levels of vocal control. with their airflow. I'll find a clip, I'll show you. Hold on. This kind of thing here. Listen. Hear that little blip? That little ever so slight bit where it backs off the air pressure. Again, it highlights that real efficiency because there's a balance that needs to be had between low and high registers in order to get things to function well. And especially if you want to be like a singer with a big range or just have a really nice clear voice with efficient vocal production, you want that higher register to be well developed and line up with the lower so that these kinds of things pop out. It's a good thing, even though it sounds weird to say, oh yeah, popping in and out of notes is weird, but it's a sign that there's good things going on technically at the vocal fold level. Back to Deanna. It's impressive how well she can navigate those ranges in that way and how efficiently her upper register comes out at those low volumes because she does use quite a dark, heavy tone. It's a very difficult tightrope to walk because that weight will drag you down and it will tend to inhibit you from accessing the upper register quite well. Like I've run into vocal issues before in the past where I pushed a low larynxy heavy type sound because I thought that was how you get real vocal power, and for the most part it's not. It's really impressive to hear how she's navigating all of that at such a young age and how evened out her vocal ranges are. It's really, really cool. I think we'll carry on. Okay, kind of reiterating what I've already said. Like, those little blips and vocal, like, creaks and things like that, really cool to hear. Like, it really just highlights how efficient she is as a singer in her vocal production. And it's quite interesting to hear that when she gets to the more belty stuff, it's slightly less efficient, for sure. It still sounds brilliant, and it's obviously very well controlled, but you don't have to be technically perfect by any stretch to sound amazing. The point I like to make as a singer is you just got to be decent enough technically and then stop worrying about it and focus on actual singing. And that fascinates me hearing singers that are actually like really complete overall as an artist, because I spent so long chasing range because my voice didn't work technically well that some of those other elements, like stuff that I hear here, they elude me, and it fascinates me to see it so well rounded and developed with the artistic side of it and with the technical side of it in singers so young, because it's just mind-blowingly good. And I really liked hearing this slide as well, this vocal slide where she comes down through her range, because you can kind of hear what the dominant type of coordination and shape of her throat is in each of these different ranges. And it's pretty sweet while still hearing it be so smooth and seamless. Where is it? It's here somewhere. You can hear her really darker tone hit and kick on as she starts to get down to the lower parts of her range. It's just really cool. I love hearing that. I love hearing stuff where the shape of the throat is audible, you know what I mean? The way it changes shape as the range shifts. It's just awesome. Beautiful control. Again, all of those like fundamental skills, full display here. She's phenomenally good.
Да не колыбнешься.
such a complete artist and singer and musician at such a young age. From the technical skills she's got, with the vocal production she's got going on, with the ability to convey emotion and just artistically express, and the visual side of it as well, that she's completely in tune with what she's singing. It's mind-blowingly good. And to see, she's only 14, she's developed more as the years go on. And I've heard that she's worked with a vocal coach to work on her upper registers a bit more and balance that up a bit finer. Like, brilliant. I love seeing this stuff. Let's take a look at that yodeling just for a minute, because this seems to fascinate a lot of people. Like, some people have said it's like a genetic thing, and yodeling's not genetic. When you cut it down to its bare basics, it's just having a balanced enough voice that you can go, in a controlled and musical and fast manner. If we listen to what she's doing and we slow it down, you'll hear it quite clear. It's just jumping between falsetto, M2, head voice, whatever, and her lower range. And there's clearly some slides going on in there with it, in the upper register. Slow it down again. I really like this bit at the end where she drifted a little out of tune where they picked her up, because, it changes like your support and your body position and stuff. Like, it highlighted how live and real this performance is. It's a less processed type of performance for a TV show, because seriously, at the high level, most TV shows, they just process the shit out of their singers in post, which, as far as analyzing and listening and trying to pick up what they're doing technically or trying to learn from, makes things tricky, because there is always some post-production going on. That's not the fault of the singers or anything like that. It's just how TV is. It's just part of the process and part of the industry as it stands. It's normal, all right? But I really like hearing it here. This is quite raw in comparison. Well, they lift her here. Just drifted that little bit, but yeah, it's just nice little bits like that remind you this is a human singer making those kinds of noises. I think that's it. I think that was awesome. That was a really beautiful performance. I will say, though, I'm still not hearing polyphonic type sounds. And people seem adamant that she does them, but I've checked out a few of her performances. I'm still not hearing those sounds, which is a shame, because this is a skill that fascinates me, and I'd love to hear that applied. But to me, polyphony is either two distinct pitches happening at the vocal fold level, or it's where, you're manipulating your cheeks and your lips and things like that to emphasize certain frequencies. And I'm just not hearing that. And I'm starting to wonder if this is like an internet myth that's popped up just because she's an unusual type sounding singer. And that sounds like the kind of thing that might highlight, oh, she sounds weird because of this. And I just think she likes this darker sound and she's really good at it. But I'm not hearing polyphony. So please link me clips where you think you've heard it and point it out specifically. And let's have a discussion about that. That'd be really cool. Anyway. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed doing it. Please suggest more of her work. I'd love to see it. And yeah, have a lovely day. And I'll catch you in the next video soon. Take care till then. Bye.